Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So they always say, wrestling, it's not a ballet. Sometimes in wrestling there's more risk than reward. Wrestlers get injured, get put on the shelf, and cannot compete. With that, we got the full list of everything that we know as far as who is currently injured right now and out of action. So let's talk first about the WWE and their main roster. Paige is currently listed as quote-unquote no contact after she underwent her second neck surgery in 2019. Jason Jordan has been out of action since January of 2018 after having neck surgery. Samoa Joe suffered a concussion back in February during a Raw commercial shoot. Currently, he is doing commentary for Monday Night Raw and has not been cleared to compete as far as we know. Razor suffered a torn bicep on the March 9th, 2020 episode of Monday Night Raw. Jimmy Uso suffered a knee injury back in April and has yet to be cleared to compete. Becky Lynch is not injured, but revealed on the May 11, 2020 edition of Raw that she is pregnant. She is out for an undetermined amount of time, as it is stated that she is likely to have the baby next month, but it's unclear when she will come back after giving birth. Jinder Mahal is out of action again after he underwent knee surgery back in June of 2020. Edge is out of action after suffering a torn tricep on June 7, 2020 while filming his Backlash match with Randy Orton. Charlotte Flair is currently out of action. She has not worked since June 22nd. She announced herself that she will be undergoing corrective surgery, but she is not actually injured. Ivar is out of action after suffering a cervical injury on the September 7th, 2020 edition of Raw. Mickie James is out of action with a broken nose after suffering said broken nose on September 21st edition of Raw. Naomi is out of action right now after undergoing myomectomy surgery in late September. Riddick Moss has revealed that he tore his ACL on the October 5th edition of Raw. He actually worked 2 months with the injury. Mandy Rose had to be pulled from last weekend's Survivor Series event after she suffered a shoulder injury on the November 9th edition of Raw. Chelsea Green suffered a broken wrist back on the November 14th edition of SmackDown while making her SmackDown main roster debut. Now let's check out NXT and the injuries we know from there. Karen Q has been out of action after suffering a broken leg on July 27, 2019 and has undergone multiple surgeries. Kavita Devi had surgery back in August of 2019 for a torn ACL. Jessamyn Duke underwent double elbow surgery back in January of this year. Kona Reeves underwent labrum surgery back in March of 2020. Karrion Kross is currently out of action after suffering a separated shoulder on the August 22nd NXT TakeOver 30 event. Simone Johnson is out of action after undergoing knee surgery on September 14th. Tegan Knox is on the shelf right now after suffering yet another torn ACL. She suffered the ACL tear in September of 2020 and quickly underwent surgery. Finn Balor is currently out of action after suffering a broken jaw on the October 4th NXT TakeOver 31 event and then underwent surgery on October 12th. Ridge Holland dislocated and broke his ankle, dislocated and ruptured his patella, all on October 7th on NXT. He underwent surgery for both injuries. Arturo Ruas suffered a bicep injury on the November 18th episode of NXT. Now let's see all the known injuries in All Elite Wrestling. Awesome Kong has actually not been cleared to compete since January of this year. Chris Statlander suffered a high-grade ACL tear on June 10th, 2020. Abaddon suffered an injury on October 21st at the AEW Dynamite tapings after taking an elbow to the throat. Matt Jackson suffered a knee injury back in June and has been working ever since with said injury. Mr. Brody Lee is currently out of action right now with an undisclosed injury. He has not worked a match since October 7th. Kenny Omega is currently injured right now, but working through it as he revealed recently that he suffered a shoulder injury, a torn labrum actually to be more precise, but didn't really give any details as to when the injury occurred and how long he's been working with it. Now let's check out some of the other injuries we do know in the world of professional wrestling. Katsuyori Shibata suffered a subdural hematoma in April of 2017. Since then, he has actually been able to get physical a little bit, and this was back in August of 2019. Kelly Klein has been dealing with concussion symptoms since the summer of 2019. No real update has been given on her status. Maria Manick suffered a concussion back in February of 2020. Yo suffered a torn ACL in July of 2020. Former Sarah Logan, now Sarah Rowe, announced on July 6th that she's pregnant. She also announced prior to that she would be taking time off from professional wrestling. Heath Miller, that is, the former Heath Slater, suffered a partially torn abductor muscle off the bone and a slight tear to his groin on the October 24th Bound for Glory pay-per-view. So with that, those are all the known injuries we do know in the world of professional wrestling, at least as far as it pertains to major companies. With that, if we do hear anything further on these wrestlers, their injuries, and when they could be back in action, we'll have it for you right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe right here on YouTube.